How the hell can you line up a squadron in this place? Suppose I do get my hands on some character and squint at him so I don't notice he's chicken-breasted and has varicose veins. I get him drunk and relaxed, he signs on the dotted line. I pay for the drinks, he steps outside for a minute, I get a hunch I should follow him to the door, and am I right? Off he shot like a louse from a scratch. You can't take a man's word anymore, Sergeant. The sergeant says what they could use around here is a good war. You know what the trouble with peace is? No organization. When do you get organization? In a war. How many horses they got in this town? How many young men? Nobody knows. They haven't bothered to count them. That's peace for you. I've been in places where they haven't had a war in 70 years, and you know what? The people can't remember their own names. They don't know who they are. It takes a war to fix all that. In a war, everyone registers, everybody's name is on a list, the shoes are stacked, the corn's in the bag, you count it all up, cattle, men, etc., and take it away. Yeah, that's the story. No organization, no war. It's the God's truth. Of course, war's like every real good deal, hard to get going. But when it's on the road, it's a pisser. Hey, look, a wagon, 2 women and a couple of young punks. Mother Courage enters with her 3 children, as in the prologue. Good day to you, Sergeant. The sergeant, good day, who do you think you are? Tradespeople? She prepares to go. Halt! Where are you riffraff from? The 2nd Protestant Regiment, says Eilif. Where are your papers? Mother Courage, papers? Swiss cheese. But this is Mother Courage. The sergeant says, never heard of her. Where'd she get a name like that? Mother Courage. They call me Mother Courage because I was afraid I'd be ruined. So I drove through the bombardment of Riga like a madwoman with 50 loaves of bread in my car. They were getting moldy. I didn't do it to please myself. No funny business. Where are your papers? Mother Courage rummages among a mass of papers in a tin box and gets down from her cot. Here, Sergeant, here's a whole Bible I got in Alturting to wrap cucumbers in, and a map of Moravia. God knows if I'll ever get there. And it's good enough for the cat if I don't. And here's a document to say my horse hasn't got hoof and mouth disease. Too bad he died on us. He cost me 15 guilders. Thank God I didn't pay it. Is that enough paper? Sergeant says, are you making a pass at me? You got to have a license and you know it. Show a little respect for a lady and don't go telling these grown children of mine I'm making a pass at you. It's not proper. What I want with you. And the officer says to Mother Courage, you know what we need in the army? Mother Courage starts to reply, but he doesn't let her. Discipline. I'd have said Frankfurters. Name, honor, feeling. So you're all feelings. What do you mean? I was talking about me. And I was talking about your children. Must they all have the same name? She indicates the elder son. This boy, for instance, his name is Eilif Noyaki, for the good reason that his father always said his name was Koyaki or Moyaki. The boy remembers him to this day, only it's another one he remembers to this day, a Frenchman with a pointed beard. Anyhow, he certainly has his father's brains. That man would have the pants off a farmer's behind before he knew what had happened. So we all have our own names. You're all called something different. You're pretending you don't get it. He indicates Swiss cheese, the sergeant. He's Chinese, I suppose? Wrong again. A Swiss. After the Frenchman? Frenchman, I don't know any Frenchman. Don't confuse the issue, or we'll be here all day. He's a Swiss, but he happens to be both Fios, a name that has nothing to do with his father, who was called something else. He was a military engineer, if you please, and a drunkard. Swiss cheese nods, beaming, and even Catherine is amused. Sergeant, how come his name's Fios? No harm meant. Sergeant, when he came, it was for the Hungarian. He didn't mind a bit. He had a floating kidney. Though he never touched a drop, he was a very honest man. The boy takes after him. But he isn't his father. I said he took after him. I call him Swiss cheese. Indicating her daughter. She's Catherine Haupt, half German. The sergeant says, a nice family, I must say. We've seen the whole world together, my wagon and me. We need all that in writing. The officer says to Eilif, and you 2 oxen pull the cart? Jacob ox and Esau ox? You ever get out of harness? Eilif says, can I smack him in the puss, Mother? I'd like to. No, you can't. You stay where you are. And now, gentlemen, what about a fine pair of pistols or a belt? Yours is practically worn through, Sergeant. Sergeant says, I'm after something else. I see these boys as straight as birch trees. What are specimens like that doing out of the army, I'd like to know? Mother Courage says rapidly, it's no use, Sergeant. The soldier's life is not for sons of mine. Why not? It means money. It means fame. Peddling boots is woman's work. to Eilif. Just step up here and let me see if that's muscle or chicken fat. Chicken fat! Give him a good hard look and he'll fall over and kill a calf while he's falling. He tries to hustle Eilif off. Will you let him alone? He's not for you. The officer says, he called my face a puss. That's an insult. Eilif says, don't worry, I can handle him, Mother. You stay here, you troublemaker. Never happy unless you're in a fight. He has a knife in his boot and he knows how to use it. Officer, I'll report you to the colonel. He'll throw you in jail. The lieutenant is courting my daughter. Take it easy, brother, he says to Mother Courage. What have you got against the service? Wasn't his father a soldier? Didn't he die a soldier's death? You said so yourself. Yes, he's dead, but this one's just a baby, and you'll lead him to the slaughter for me. I know you. You'll get 5 guilders for him. Officer says, first thing you know, you'll have a new cap and knee boots. How about it? Not from you, thanks. Mother Courage says, come on, let's go fishing, said the angler to the worm, to Swiss cheese. Run and tell everybody they're trying to steal your brother. She draws a knife. Now try and steal him, and I'll let you have it. I'll cut you down like dogs, using him in your war. We sell linen, we sell ham, we're peaceful people. The sergeant, give me that knife, you hag. You admit you live off the war? What else would you live off? Tell me, how can we have a war without soldiers? Do they have to be mine? So that's it. The war should swallow the pits and spit out the peach, huh? Call yourself Mother Courage and then get scared of the war. You're breadwinner. Your sons aren't scared, I know that much. Eilif, no war can scare me. The soldier's life hasn't done me any harm, says the sergeant. I enlisted at 17, Mother Courage. You haven't reached 70. I will, though, above ground. Are you trying to rile me, telling me I'll die? Suppose it's the truth. Suppose I can see it's your fate. Suppose I know you're just a corpse on furlough. Swiss cheese, she has second sight. Everybody says so. She can look into the future. Then go look into the sergeant's future. It might amuse him. Sergeant, I don't believe in that stuff. Your helmet. He gives her his helmet. Sergeant, anything for a laugh. Mother Courage takes a sheet of parchment and tears it in 2 pieces. Eilif, Swiss cheese, and Catherine. So should we all be torn asunder if we let ourselves be drawn too deep into the war. To the sergeant. For you, I'll make an exception and do it free. Death is black. I draw a black cross on this piece of paper, and the other she leaves blank, see? Then I fold them, put them in the helmet, and shuffle them up. Mixed up like we all are from our mother's room on. And now you draw and find out the answer. The sergeant hesitates. The officer says to Eilif, I don't take just anybody. I'm particular. They all say so. And you're full of punch. I like that. The sergeant fishing into the helmet. That's a lot of bunk. Hogwash. Swiss cheese. He's drawn the black cross. His number's up. The officer says to Eilif, don't let them frighten you. There aren't enough bullets to go around. The sergeant says, you swindled me, Mother Courage. You swindled yourself the day you enlisted. And now we must drive on. There isn't a war every day in the week. We got to get to work. Hell and damnation. You're not getting away with this. We're taking that bastard of yours with us. We'll make a soldier of him. Eilif says, I'd like that, Mother. Shut up, you finished devil, you. And Swiss cheese would like to be a soldier, too. Well, that's news to me. I see I'll have to draw lots for all 3 of you. She goes to the back to draw crosses on the slips. And the officer says to Eilif, people have been saying the Swedish soldier is religious. That's malicious gossip. I can't tell you how much damage it's done us. We only sing on Sunday, 1 verse of a hymn, and then only if you have a voice. Mother Courage returns with the slips and throws them into the sergeant's helmet. Run away from their mother, were they, the devils, and off to war like a cat to cream? Just let me consult these slips, and they'll see the world's no promised land with its join-up son, your officer material. She thrusts the helmet at Eilif. There, take yours, Eilif. He does so. As he unfolds the paper, she snatches it from him. There you are, a cross. If he's a soldier, his number's up, that's for sure. The officer, still talking to Eilif. If you're wet in your pants, I can try your brother. Mother Courage says, now take yours, Swiss cheese. You're a safer bet because you're my good boy. He draws his lot, she takes it from him. A cross. Oh, Swiss cheese. There's no saving you either, unless you're a good boy, through and through every minute of every day. Just look, Sergeant. A black cross, isn't it? Another cross. Oh, I don't see why I got one. I always stay well in the rear. It can't be a trick. It gets her own children. Mother Courage says to Catherine. And now all I have left is you. You're a cross in yourself, but you have a kind heart. She holds the helmet up but takes the paper herself. Oh, I could give up in despair. I can't be right. I must have made a mistake. Don't be too kind, Catherine. Don't be too kind. There's a cross in your path. And then she breaks the mood. So, now you all know, always be very careful. And now we'll have to get in and drive on. She climbs up onto the wagon. The officer says to the sergeant, do something. I don't feel so well. Try doing business with her. That belt, Sergeant, you could at least take a look at it. After all, they live by trade, don't they, these good people? Hey, you, the sergeant will buy the belt. Half a guilder, worth 4 times the price. Sergeant, well, there's too much wind here. Let's go look at it behind your wagon. It doesn't seem windy to me. Well, maybe it is worth half a guilder. There's silver on it. She follows him to the back of the wagon. A solid 6 ounces worth. Half a guilder, then. Come on, quick. The sergeant, I still don't see why I had to draw a cross. I told you, I always stay in the rear. It's the only place that's safe. You send the others on to win the laurels of victory or the glory of heroic defeat, as the case may be. Mother, you mustn't take on so here. Have a shot of brandy. And go right on staying in the rear. Give me the guilder. And the officer has taken Eilif by the arm and is drawing him upstage. 10 guilders in advance, and you're a soldier of the king, my lad, a stout fellow. The women will be mad about you. They leave. Catherine makes harsh noise. Coming, Catherine, coming. The sergeant's just paying his bill. She bites the money. To me, Sergeant, all